Hello, my name is Sherman Brown, and today we're going to do a Unity tutorial on projectile movement. It's fairly simple to do, and I'm going to take you step by step on how to achieve this. I've got numerous requests on it, and I haven't seen any tutorials, video tutorials online about it, so I'm going to step through it really quickly. It's kind of easy to do. I set up a scene here. It's basically you're in an office and you're throwing paper balls at a trash can, so it's kind of like basketballs, but you're trying to make the shots with projectile movement. So it's pretty cool. So I'm gonna just go ahead and play the game just to show you how that works. So you're here, and you actually need to make this larger so you can see what's going on. I just preliminary, just telling it about projectile movement. Okay, so you got a couple of screens here. You set the angle, set the force, and this tells the distance from you and the basket. So let's say here, and I've kind of already did the math on this. And if you take the shot, oh, I missed. Let's move over some. Try that again. Horrible. There we go. So it's in the hoop. Alright. As you see, as I move back and forth on the screen, this distance changes. Spread this out so you guys can actually see the movement over here on this screen because it's in first person. So as I increase the angle, you can see it's a higher peak. If I decrease it, it's a shorter peak. I increase the force, shoots a lot faster. So if I do the force and the angle, it's going to shoot higher up in the sky. Okay? So that's enough with the showing you how it works. Let's actually get into it and show you the code. That's what's most important, and I'm pretty sure that's why you guys are watching the video. So let's step through this. I already have it pulled up here. This is the code for this. It's very simple. Got a couple GUI in this code. If you don't know how to do that, there's a lot of tutorials online about that, as well as the Unity website actually steps through this better than probably I could ever do. I'll probably still do a tutorial on it though, but it's pretty straightforward. At the top here, I'm just getting the distance from the basket to the user. I actually don't have my distance code in here because this portion of the code was actually part of a bigger file of code that I had. I just pulled it out just so it makes sense for you guys. So this is just the prefab that you're going to add to it, and I just added a regular spear to it. And this is the elevation angle, and it's just a Vector3, and the throwForce, which is an int, and you have my two text fields here. So it's basically if the take shot button is pressed, we're going to run lunch, which is this function that I define here. To get the values for the angle and the force, I just have these text box here, and I just take whatever value I put into those boxes and store it into this variable. Now, this code is actually error prone. It's an easier way to do this. Well, not gonna say easier way, but more efficient way to do this, because if our user types in letters or characters and you come down here and they try to parse those letters and characters into these variables here, it's going to throw exception error. So, I mean, it's easier ways to do this, and you can just Google search it and you'll see it. It's fairly easy. I'm just too lazy to do it. Since I'm the user, I know only to enter in number values. So, once you enter in that number value into this text field, it gets changed into an integer here, and then we have our values for our angle and our force. In the lunch here, you have our angle elevation, which is a Vector3. And all that does is create a new vector with the given x, y, and z components. And our x component is obviously going to be the angle because we wanted to travel in the x direction. throwForce equal force. It's variable. throwForce is actually useless. You don't really need it. Could have just used force, but you know, and my larger part of code is the reason why I did that. Here, all this does is it creates a game object ball, and you've probably seen this code plenty of times before, but one thing you haven't seen is this line right here. Now, that line, all it does is it tells Unity that to not rotate. That rotation is wrong and is perfectly aligned. So when you change it, it won't rotate at all. So the ball doesn't rotate. Right here, this is just the elevation here. This is a unique math function here. All it does is returns a rotation that rotates in the z degrees around the z-axis and the x degrees around the x-axis, and of course the y degrees around the y-axis. And transform.forward is just the shorthand for the Vector3 to move forward. Right here is just rigid body AddForce to the ball, so it just tells the new game object to travel in the directions that we define. So that's pretty much the code. Pretty self-explanatory. As always, I try to post the code in the comments. My last tutorial I actually did on torrents, and had a problem with posting that code in there. But anybody that shot me an email, I sent it out to them if they couldn't see it in the tutorial. So I'll try to do the same now. If you can't see it, just shoot me a comment or email, and I'll give it to you. That's pretty much it for this tutorial. It's pretty straightforward. I'll play it one more time just so you guys can see. And the cool thing is you don't have to use these text boxes. You can actually, the GUI has sliders, so you can use the slider and maybe you can attach like an object here if it was like a third person, like a barrel, say if it was a tank, and you could change the sliders and the tank barrel can go up and down with the angle, and you can just change the force of the shot. So you can use this in virtually any type of game. Just for this demonstration purposes, I did it in this office setting. So once again, I'll run it through. Let's see if I can get a good shot on the first. Oh, missed again. I'm no good. There we go. All right, that's it for now.